Welcome to Web Design Feedback. My name is Ryan, and in this series, each episode we're going to pick one industry and one website at random, and we're going to review it from the point of view of a web designer and also as a digital marketer. So for today, the industry that we picked is construction, and the website is wagnercustom.com. They're a construction company that services in Riverside and the Inland Empire in California. And one thing off the bat, looking at this website is beautiful work, and also it looks like they've been doing this for quite some time. So that's good. Now, as far as diving into the feedback, the first thing I would say is the website looks a little bit dated, and we can tell that by just kind of how with how the design is. It's a lot more narrow nowadays. What devices are a lot more higher resolution, even on phones and tablets. The first thing we're going to check is for mobile responsiveness. This website, obviously, it's not responsive, so on the mobile devices and tablets, the user experience won't be as good. The next thing I've noticed is the navigation. All these are actually images, and so if we zoom in, see how it gets blurry. So on a lot of the modern devices, it's very high resolution, so you would see the blurriness in both the logo as well as the navigation. An easy workaround for this is just have this as plain text, and we can achieve the same hover effects with text as well. Having the logo as a vector graphic instead of a bitmap. So, for example, if we pull up Web Design Xpert.com, if we zoom in, notice how even as we zoom in, the quality of the logo maintains. With the slider, it doesn't look like there's any controls, so we can't control it. If we want to stop on a certain slide to look at a little bit more, we won't be able to do that. So that's one thing that I would change. The typeface, it's pretty small, and a lot of people that are hiring for construction projects, they typically are on the older side. So having the font face a little bit larger would help as well. With this website, it looks like it's just static HTML, which and we can tell by looking at the URL structure, and also it's just not secure here, which these days Google wants all websites to have SSL, which means that the information is encrypted. Notice how over here we have a little padlock icon here, and if we click into it, it says HTTPS. So that's something that I would change from both a user experience standpoint and a SEO standpoint, because when the user sees that website is not secure, it looks pretty bad. And on some devices, this message is red, so that can be a deterrent for some people, especially if they've had issues with security or viruses before. One thing that I think is really cool is their gallery. This is pretty neat, but one thing that I would probably do on the gallery page is to have each of these pages where there's a little bit more of an SEO factor. So just having the description as text instead of an image, because the image won't get indexed properly by Google. And also maybe have a short description here, so that way we can get, for example, if somebody is looking for construction for their kitchen or their bathroom, we want these pages to get indexed into Google for that. Overall, I recommend having this site probably in a content management system such as WordPress, so that way all of the SEO tools that we will need, it's already it comes ready with WordPress, so it's very easy to change the titles to have it reflect what the page is about. For example, if we go into master bathrooms, well, the title still says Wagner Custom Homes, and the reason for that is because the SEO these features just aren't coded into the website, so it's a lot easier for them to just have the same title across the the whole site. Also, just having a little more content will help with SEO as well. Google, they call this thin content, and usually thin content pages don't rank as well as pages with more content. I recommend at least 200 words, preferably 300 words or more on each of the content pages. Now, the other thing that I noticed is the logo isn't clickable. Typically, people click on the logo to get to the homepage. Of course, we can click on home too, but that's something that I would change to just improve the user experience. And overall, with the design, I would make the font face a little bit bigger so it's more legible, especially the people that are looking to hire a construction company. They typically are on the older side. And just other things, such as the HTTPS. But looking over here, you see how this is the generic icon. They call it a favicon or fave icon. And when people are researching multiple companies to go with, they'll have a bunch of tabs open. So having an icon in the fave icon tab will distinguish you from your competitors, especially during the research stage. Also, the website's missing a clear call to action. I think the call to action is giving them a call or sending them an email. So I would probably have the phone number in a very prominent position. And if Phil, he prefers emails, then I would have that on probably not this email, but maybe info@wagnercustom.com. Typically that's more standard, info or sales at, and have that across all of the pages. And having the phone number as a prominent call to action, and also having the phone number so they don't have to copy and paste or key in the phone number to dial, where they can just tap on their phone and it'll initiate the phone call. Let me show you an example of how that would look like. Go to the services, and this one's probably a good example since they're in the construction industry as well. So on the mobile devices, it'll look pretty much like this. See how the call to action is very prominent. If they tap it on their phones, it will initiate prompt, and then once they tap on that, it will initiate the phone call. They have the dialog box to avoid accidental calls, but that would make it a lot more convenient and shorten the distance between a prospect coming onto your website and then engaging in the actual phone call, so you can get that person as a prospective client. Overall, I think this website could use just a redesign where everything looks more modern. We add more content pages to it so it performs better in search engines, and we can actually use the Ahrefs tool to see where they stand with the SEO. So if we put in their website in here, I mean, they're ranking for 4 keywords. They have 5 or 7 backlinks across 5 domain names. So, custom Riverside homes. So right now they actually rank for Riverside custom homes and Inland Empire builders. The Riverside custom homes, I think that one probably, if we can get that moved up, and most likely if it shows up on the first page, other words such as maybe Riverside custom home builders, just keywords that are similar, we should be able to get those ranked as well if we add more content pages that reflect, for example, having a page that says Riverside Custom Homes or Riverside Construction, and it doesn't have to be in the main area. It could be somewhere in the footer where it's strictly for SEO purposes. I think that'll go a long ways, and then just driving some more backlinks that will help boost the rankings in Google, so we can move these from page 5, page 6, 7 to the first page, or first couple pages, or ideally the first page of Google. Let me show you an example of a website where we did the SEO but not the not the web design. They have their own team for that. But if we look over here, see how we have business opportunity seekers. That's what it says in the URL, and it's easy. They call that the permalink. It's easy to change the permalink in WordPress, not so much if it's just a custom static website where you would need a web designer to add in more pages and make those edits. Versus with the WordPress platform, anybody could go in, or anybody with the login credentials can go in and make those changes. So bank leads on page 1 rank 7 because we there's a page that says banking sales leads. So see how sometimes the different opportunity seekers leads, business opportunity seekers leads. See, these are similar keywords from this that are held from the same page, and that's kind of what I meant with them is most likely if we can get Riverside Custom Homes onto the on the first page, we'll get additional keywords that have a high purchase intent as well. So that wraps up for today's video. Hopefully you found this web design feedback episode helpful. If you have any questions or comments, or if you want your website to be reviewed by us, send me a message through YouTube. Also, if you need help with your website or your digital marketing, also send me a message through YouTube, and I'll be happy to help out. That said, I will see you in the next episode.